I found this lovely spot to camp out at up here at Radar Ridge State Forest. So I'm over in southwest Washington, basically on the coast along the Oregon border, about as southwest as you can get. The original plan was to spend the night at Long Beach, the town of Long Beach, because at least historically I've been told that it's a great place to stay. But after looking at reviews of people that have tried to camp there, basically it seems like universally the police in Long Beach have decided to crack down on people spending the night on streets and vehicles. So I guess it's not an option to stay there anymore. So you might be wondering why on earth I'm out here. Especially if you've been around my channel for a while, you know that I'm supposed to be in truck driving school right now. So I'll have to explain what brought me out to this lovely location that has no trucks. So unfortunately, it's actually a really sad story. The truck driving school I signed up for is supposed to be one of the top in the state, and it's been around for a couple of decades, I think, at least. From what I understand anyways, but it's been around for a while. It's built this really great reputation. They have a lot of different trucks, a lot of instructors, stuff like that. But unfortunately, the owner of the company died about a week before I started truck driving school. I think I mentioned this in my live stream that I did, that he died. But we weren't really sure what any of that meant. It seemed to me, at the time anyways, that the truck driving school was able to operate without him. And that seemed to be what people thought in the office. They weren't really sure what was going to happen. And they said that they had to talk to their attorneys, and I was supposed to find out at the end of the week exactly how the school was supposed to continue operating. And they would let us know by the end of the week. They were always very good at communicating with me. And I'm sure you can see where this is going, but as we approached the end of the week, I hadn't heard anything from them, so I decided to try giving them a call, and there was no one answering the phone anymore. And the only place I found any information at all was on their Facebook page. So on their Facebook page, they had a lot of things to do with the memorial for this guy who died. Again, it's not someone I ever met, but he was the owner of the company. He was apparently a really great guy, really good person in the community. And one of the posts was about how the school was closed until they figured out what was going on with the school. They had to talk to their attorneys, which is the same message that I had gotten. And underneath in the comment section were, of course, students trying to figure out what was going on as well. And there was another person who was supposed to start at the same time as me, and he did the digging and found a letter from the state basically saying that the school had permanently closed. So I've already paid tuition to the school. So in the letter from the state, it says that the school is responsible for refunding the tuition for any courses that weren't completed, and that it was the school's responsibility to do that. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, the truck driving school was unable to pay the refund, and so there was a state program that we were going to have to go through to get a refund. And so I have since confirmed that this is in fact the case. That letter was real, and it sounds like the state agency is collecting student records. So that's what happened with truck driving school. The owner died, the school closed, and I'm currently trying to figure out how to get my money back from the state. So we'll see how long that takes, but that's really not the end of the story. It doesn't really explain why I'm out here. But anyways, I think I'm going to change locations here. This is a lovely spot next to this pond here, but it sounds like if I go up the road, there's an amazing view of the coast and maybe the Columbia River. Well, the view from up here is pretty good. It's a little bit hazy out still, but I might just hang out here for a little bit and see if things clear up. If not, that's okay. I'll have to continue on. So anyways, of course, you may know that since I was planning on going to truck driving school, I was planning on working weekends at my current job. So it's fortunate that I didn't quit because obviously, since truck driving school isn't happening, I had to get myself put back on the schedule again. So they were really good about it, partly because I'm sure they're absolutely desperate for people right now. If you need a job and happen to live in the Seattle area, I can easily get you one. But anyways, so there's been quite a bit of turnover at work in management, and there's a ton of new people that are in there. But I talked to the guy who's doing scheduling, at least temporarily. I don't even know who's doing scheduling now. Asked to get put back on the schedule, and then the owner happened to be working the next day, so I talked to him as well, make sure everyone's on the same page. I asked to go back to 4-day weeks, which is 40-hour week for me, and so the plan was Since I was going back to 4-day weeks, they changed the days that I had off a little bit, and so I thought I would have plenty of time yesterday to come down here to Southwest Washington and go see what the beach was like, go see what some of the campsites out in the hills here are like. So I drove down here yesterday. It was pouring rain. I went to Long Beach. I actually explored that whole peninsula down there, and it was beautiful. There's actually a lot more people living out in that area than I had originally thought, but it was already getting late by the time I got down there, so I ended up just kind of coming straight up to the campsite, which was kind of fun. I'm getting very glad I have the car that I do. My Subaru handled that very steep, slippery gravel road really well. I was definitely sliding a bit, probably because I don't have the best tires, but the car did a great job of getting up that hill. I was looking at reports of other people who have tried to come up there, and they basically say that you have to have all-wheel drive or four-wheel drive to get up that hill. So I'm glad I made it. The campsite is actually really beautiful. And then while I was going to bed that night, I decided to look at my calendar, see if I could try to do some more planning, figuring out what I'm supposed to do next, basically. And I realized that someone has put me back on the schedule tomorrow, so I only have a 2-day weekend. I would not have done this long of a drive if I had known I was just going to have to drive straight back up to work again today, but that's where we are. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to do next. I don't really have the resources to just sign up for another truck driving school. That's not really in the cards for me at the moment. I would need to get my tuition back from the state somehow, and so I don't know when that's going to happen. They don't seem to know either. I'm actually doing fine financially. I still have my emergency fund. I haven't had to touch that at all because I haven't actually missed any work, and I had money saved up to pay for my existence for the entire month in case I couldn't work while I was in truck driving school. So it's not like I'm short on money or anything. It's just I don't have enough money to sign up for another truck driving school. The one thing I did at the end of last week, which I was planning on doing anyways, is I had to order a ton of stuff for winter. Most of my winter clothes most of my clothes in general are pretty well shot. They're all pretty old, and I hate clothes shopping, so I just haven't replaced a lot of stuff. And so I have a bunch of stuff that's coming in the mail. Most of it should be here today. Some of it should be here next week. And I already have new shoes, which I should be reviewing soon. So be on the lookout for some reviews of some winter stuff that's coming up here. Once I get my winter gear in, I should be able to take trips up into the mountains. It's already started snowing up there. I should have some good opportunities to test out some of the stuff that I bought. Well, I know it's only going to be a short stay for me this time, but I always enjoy my time down here in Southwest Washington. Just so many hills to explore, so many beaches, and it's always pouring rain, lots of beautiful clouds to look at, which I actually like. I kind of enjoy this. Unfortunately, though, I do have to head back. I need to get through the Seattle-Tacoma area by rush hour. Otherwise, I could get stuck there for, 5-6 hours in traffic. And I don't want to do that. So it's time to head back, pick up some packages on the mailbox, and I'll see you on the next video.